The life of Dorothy Mary Crowfoot, who later married and took the last name Hodgkins. On the 12th of May in 1910, Dorothy Mary Crowfoot was born in Cairo, Egypt. Dorothy came from a distinguished family of archaeologists. The family lived in Cairo during the winter months, but returned to England each year to avoid the hotter parts of the season in Egypt. And after looking at the ambient temperatures there, I honestly can't blame them. Then, in 1914, Hodgkin's mother left her and her two younger sisters with their grandparents near Worthing and returned to her husband in Egypt. While the girls spent most of their childhood apart from their parents, the parents were very supportive. Hodgkins developed a passion for chemistry from a very young age, and her mother fostered her interest in the sciences. On Hodgkin's 16th birthday, her mother gave her a book by W. H. Broggs called Concerning the Nature of Things, which helped Dorothy discover what she wanted to do with her life. In 1921, Hodgkin's father entered her in the Sir John Lehman's Grammar School in Beccles, England, where she was one of two girls allowed to study chemistry. Then, in 1928, Hodgkins entered the Somerville College in Oxford, where she studied chemistry. She graduated in 1932 with a first-class honors degree, and she was the third woman at this institution to achieve this distinction. Then, in 1934, at the age of 24, Dorothy was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and went to a clinic in Buxton for thermal baths and cold treatment. After some time, Hodgkins returned to the lab where she struggled to use the main switch on the X-ray equipment due to the condition of her hands. She had to create a lever on her own to use the switch. Over time, her condition would become progressively worse, with deformities in both her hands, feet, and prolonged periods of pain. In her later years, Hodgkin spent a lot of time in a wheelchair, but she remained scientifically active. Hodgkins was particularly noted for her discovering three-dimensional biomolecular structures. She discovered these in things like penicillin, insulin, and vitamin B12. Insulin was one of Hodgkin's most extraordinary research projects. It began in 1934 when she was offered a small sample of crystalline insulin by Robert Robinson, which I know kind of sounds like a made-up name, but I promise you it isn't. Hodgkin's work with insulin was instrumental in paving the way for insulin to be mass-produced and used on a large scale for treatment of both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Without her, who's to say we would still have those treatments today?